over a year ago, I was in a bar trying to watch women's sports and I couldn't. And I kept going to bars trying to watch sports and I couldn't. They wouldn't turn the TVs on. And that sort of was the beginning for me. I was like, wow, this is really terrible. But these bars are telling me no, they're not going to change one of those channels for me. So that's when it started impacting me. And I realized I should be creating this, I should be making this happen. And then in 24 August, my wife died. Her name was Bernell, and her dream was to own a women's sports bar. So after her death, I decided to own one up in her name.
When did you realize that she was going to be someone really important in your life?
Uh, the very first day, I knew from the very beginning that hook and sinker, she was in it. She was in this. So yeah. She was living in Milwaukee. She came to Madison, and we went to brunch at a place called Eldorado's, which no longer is here. And I got invited to a birthday party right around the corner at a dispensary after brunch. And I asked her if she wanted to go, and she said yes. I didn't tell her it was the mayor's birthday party, and she was so impressed. Oh my God, we're at the mayor's birthday party. I said, yeah. And then after that, we went to Obrit and sat in under the atrium around the butterflies and did all that. And by then it was evening time to eat again. So we went out and had Chinese. And it was just a full like 9 hours of enjoying each other's company and good food and other people. It was good. Bernell had cancer, and I was her caretaker for 3 years. So every day was purposeful. Every day we had a mission, to get her up, to get her to doctors, to make sure she was okay. We went places. She liked to go places. So we went in the car and we drove places and did things that she was able to do. And so it was a purposeful day every day. Mhm. It really is about her. Um, and there are days I think, am I crazy? Like I'm working harder now than I did before I retired. But then it's purposeful, and I know that. And there's a reason this is happening, and I want to have that impact. Bernell was a committed person. She committed to women's sports when she was very young and never wavered from that. She also committed to me and never wavered from that. And she was a teacher, and she was someone that was patient and taught. Bernell owned the only women's professional women's basketball team in Milwaukee, and that's quite the legacy. She created the Aces basketball team in Milwaukee. She developed a team that Milwaukee had never had, and so it offered young women something that hadn't been offered before. So she impacted the game for many women, young women. Mhm. There are Milwaukee Aces shirts all over the place in here and other kinds of print. But I also have other shirts and different things from other teams trying to represent as much as we can in here. So, yeah. I want them to see her as a trailblazer, as a woman in history, and as a Black woman who didn't take no for an answer and kept pushing forward on what she wanted to do and what she believed in. I want them to see that.
I mean, this was her idea. This is her legacy. She's the one who always wanted to have a women's sports venue here. And I know Rita went to, I think it was 15 or 16 bars in Madison, asked them to turn on women's sports. Only one agreed to do it. And that's even on just one of their TVs. She wasn't asking much. So it's really cool to have a place that's, geared towards supporting all that.
Are you ready to celebrate a birthday? Or y'all just hanging out? If you want to celebrate my 69th birthday before I turn 70, I thought you were saying something else. No, girl. No.
How would you describe the energy in here on a typical night?
Kind of what you're hearing right now. A lot of people know each other. It's very friendly.
It's familial. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody takes care of everybody else. We're all happy to be here. So
We watch sports, we eat good food, we listen to music, they dance, they sing. They really just have a good time when you're on Sundays. And it's sort of a potpourri of people that come in here to do different things.
Even when there's not a lot of work to do, I still enjoy being here. It's just a really cool, fun crowd. Everybody's just really supportive, and just really happy because there's an old following for the blues venue, and so those people are all happy to see it still doing what this place historically has been. And then there are a whole other group of people that come here to support our soul food brunches and the women's sports events, and there are lesbian pop-up nights, because those bars apparently have been in great decline over the last few decades, and it's a really cool environment here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people that work here that bartend, people that I've known most of their lives. Like they're my kids' ages. I have kids that are grown, and they've known me almost all their life, and I know them, and I asked them to work for me, and all of them said yes. And most of them never bartended before. I trained them, and they love it. They love doing it. And, that's been special for me to feel like I have a granddaughter who works here too, that I have family and close relations working for me, and it's working out really well.
I got to know Rita a few years ago. She would come in to sing at a place I used to work, and she just immediately struck me. And finding out some of her backstory, her family's backstory here in Madison, she's just a really inspiring person. And then this place being, a tribute to Bernell and a place for women's sports, and just an inclusive music venue. It's very inspiring to me. So just really feel lucky to be a part of it.
Been downhearted, babe, ever since the day we met. All Maurice knows I've been downhearted, baby, ever since the day we met. I ain't nothing but the blues. Oh, baby, I'm blue. Can you get?
Well, it's interesting. This was and still is a blues bar, and it has been for many years. And there's a blues community that comes here every week, Thursdays and Saturday nights. It gets packed with the same people that have been coming here for years to listen to blues. So it's not just a sports bar, it's a blues bar, a heavy blues bar. And so I expect that to walk through the door often.
Smile, you're on Candy Camera. Huh?
Can you just start by telling me your name?
By telling you my name?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Bob Yort. I've come to this building for 16, 17 years through 3 different owners and thousands of dollars worth of money spent in here and dancing and just enjoying the blues music. I can't get enough of it. We got a new owner now, and she likes the blues. But when she started this, she decided to make it a blues bar again. Yay! I don't know what the hell I would do without this, because we got hooked on blues so bad. And now, and she is such one of the nicest persons that ever walked the face of the earth. In fact, I was out here one day at Menards trying to get some. I got it. And I thought, maybe the owner is here. So I pulled in here. She was parked there. I walked in here. I walked up to the bar, and she was sitting where she always does at the end there. And I walked up to her and said, "Hi, I am Bob. I am here to help you." She looked at me like, "What?" I said, "No, I'm a blues junkie. I'm here to help you. I want to help you get this thing going." So here we are.
Matter of fact, I did not have everything I needed to open this up. I asked the community for help, and they did that for me. They made sure I had what I needed to open this up. And that's a testament in itself that this community wanted this place to be open for women's sports and for the blues. They wanted both of it. And so I'm honored. I'm honored for that. Someone got upset one time because I had a very important sports game on at the same time that I had a band booked. And so I wasn't able to turn the volume up on the sports game. And the woman felt like this was supposed to be a women's sports bar and I should have prioritized the sports and canceled the band. And I said, well, I can't do that because I'm also a blues bar. And actually, I get more people coming in for blues than I do for sports. And so that would be foolish of me, business wise, to do that. And so that kind of stuck with me on how I'm trying to manage a bar that has live music, sports, and food. To put those three things together and manage that and satisfy everybody is a very difficult process. So.
It can be a little to juggle, but we have regular nights that are always more, geared towards the live music. We're going to be putting in an outdoor live music stage in the back this summer. Other nights, we know when the big games are going to be, when it's like women's, hockey nights or various things like that. We just plan ahead, don't schedule a band that night. So.
Doing this alone is really hard, and I often think, boy, if she was here, it would be impactful even more if she was here. But she's not, and I have to deal with that all the time, but I think about her often and wish that she was part of this.
What kind of feeling do you want people to have when they enter this place?
Well, I want them to feel like they can take some ownership of it, that this is my place. This is where I belong, right in here, and I'm comfortable in here, and they're thinking about me, representing me and who I am. I know that if it's possible, that she can look down on this. She can't stop smiling. She just can't stop smiling. I know that. She would just be so excited. She'd be so excited and probably ask me to switch one of those shirts up there. She probably would, but yeah, she'd be excited. She'd walk here and be very excited. Yeah.